All right, gang, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks, everybody, for jumping onto this customer briefing with us so we can talk a little bit about how Databank can lend a hand during this COVID-19 situation we're all dealing with. My name is JP LeCoeur. I'm the Senior VP of Marketing here at Databank, and I'm going to be joined by a couple of folks in the organization here today. Brett Verscher, who's one of our regional data center managers down in Dallas, and Yvette Hamill-Graves, who's one of our account managers in Baltimore, all practicing good, safe work at home procedures right now. Before we jump into it, just wanted to thank everybody for jumping on, and I hope from our family to yours, you are all safe and healthy. That's the most important thing, obviously, for all of us in this particular time. What we wanted to, before we jump into it, also kind of give you guys a little bit of a reminder on our Databank and how we look at our purpose as a company and the role that plays in the current environment we're operating in. Our corporate purpose is to take the worry out of managing mission critical infrastructure. This is a rallying cry we have unveiled in the last year or so, and are kind of organizing all of our efforts and communications in our internal culture around that. And thought it was a useful reminder today and somewhat timely given the world we're in. We know all of you have a lot of to worry about, a lot more to worry about now than ever before. And so part of the reason we wanted to do this was to help provide for you guys some thoughts and some reminders of services and capabilities that we have that are sometimes overlooked that will be helpful to you in this time of need. So just wanted to set the context with that. Obviously, we are all seeing the impact of this macroeconomically and in our businesses at a micro level, whether that's social distancing or the travel restrictions. We know you may be experiencing an inability to get to the data center. Your staff is going to be consumed with other things. Vendors may not be available. And so where we think we can help is in a number of areas, obviously, with our remote hands, smart hands capabilities. Our portal has all sorts of capabilities as well that we think will be able to alleviate some issues in the short term. Obviously, we can provide additional bandwidth, capacity, cloud infrastructure, all those things, and even professional services to help you plan and migrate systems during this time. But we wanted to focus and do a little bit of a deeper dive on those first two today. So those are the ones we're going to dive into first. And we will, at the end of this, do a little bit of a Q&A. We'll have Brett first start by taking us through the remote hands, smart hands issues, and then we will have Yvette talk about the portal, and then we will open it up to Q&A. The Q&A will be via chat, so if you want to use the chat window in Zoom, you can begin to send us questions as you get them, and we will roll through as many of those as we can at the end of the call. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Brett.
Afternoon. Again, my name is Brett Verscher. I'm the regional data center manager for the DFW market. Today, really, we just want to speak, on some of the various data center services that we offer to our clients. I'm sure that many of you have used our remote hand services before. We just want to make sure that we inform you of some of the other services that we offer that you may not know that we actually do. As we all begin to work from home and limit our daily face-to-face interactions, more remote hands and smart hand support can be a very valuable tool for you and your teams as these needs arise. Just kind of a little bit about us, our sites, our local operations staff is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we also have on-site security that's there as well to help make sure everything stays secure around the clock. Most of our staff come from a variety of technology backgrounds, and with all those different backgrounds and the years of experience, it gives us a very highly trained staff at our data centers. Most of our remote hand requests that come in revolve around tape rotations, hard drive replacement, server reboots, those sorts of things. But we also offer rack and stacks, patching, local console, equipment audits. And we've actually been able to work in the last couple of weeks with some of our international clients that are unable to travel to the site right now. We've been able to really help get them through some of their internal audits, making sure that the equipment that's on site, that the serial numbers match, and as far as the PDUs, making sure everything is cabled properly, that they've got their A and B power, those sorts of things all hooked up. helping to alleviate a lot of those stresses of the unknown since they can't actually put eyes on their own equipment. One thing that we have done internally is we're asking our staff to do more frequent walkthroughs of not only the data center itself, but to get more in depth to the client spaces, really getting into the cages, the racks, and putting their eyes on the equipment. We're looking for things, audible signs, whether it be trouble lights or audible alarms going that might be a indication of equipment starting to fail. There's been times in the past we've actually been able to catch some of these equipment failures before it happened. We can hear fans that are starting to go out or smell power supplies that are beginning to overheat. And by doing that, we're able to notify you, the customer, and kind of open up a ticket and say, hey, here's what we're seeing, here's what we're smelling. And that gives you the opportunity to do a soft shutdown on your equipment itself. Looks like we're saying we lost audio. Can y'all still hear me? All right, we're good.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, it really helps, just get ahead of those failures before we end up having a catastrophic failure on your side, and really trying to help you all out to stay online as much as possible right now. But also, in addition to our remote hands, we've got a lot of smart hand services that we offer as well. Our staff there is able to work within your environment. So more than just being a layer one, we're really be able to get in there and help do basic troubleshooting, kind of get into some of those connectivity issues and whatever network issues that you might have. This really helps out if you're unable to VPN into your stuff or remote into your equipment. You're able to get with our staff and they can help on any sort of OS installs you need, software installations. They can also help with setting up network configs and really helping you ensure that your network and your security design is operating optimally. These services that we offer, this is for us to help you and your staff to help make your lives easier. Really, with this being on site can drastically reduce your downtime and maximize your availability of your systems. This also will help with minimizing the amount of people that are in the data center right now, kind of working the whole idea of social distancing. The more that we can help y'all kind of stay out of the crowd, stay away from each other, that sort of stuff, it's really going to help everybody out. By doing this also, limiting your need to do site visits, it's going to reduce the workload on your staff and allow them to focus on some of the other projects and the other issues that might be a little more critical, right now. One other thing, people are kind of worried about vendors being able to get in and escorts and carriers and that sort of thing. We're going to continue to do those escorts, working with Dell and HP, Iron Mountain, those companies that come in. We're going to make sure that they're getting in, that they can get to y'all sites. And help give them the support that they also need to ensure that your equipment stays online. Go ahead and move to the next slide there, JP. So with these, all these services that we offer, whether it be remote hands or smart hands, there's basically 3 service level options that we have, and they're all at different varying price points. Should you need remote hands or smart hands, when you open up this request, just let us know the urgency of it. And we operate on a first in, first out type of basis. And P1 requests obviously get moved up to the front of the line. Should there be an overwhelming influx of P1 tickets, our team is going to work with each customer individually, make sure everybody's being taken care of in a timely fashion. We want y'all to be up as quick as possible. And we're going to stay till the end, make sure everything's fixed, make sure y'all are happy. And we just ask that any remote hands or smart hand tickets that y'all do open up, y'all can do it through our portal. That's the best way. But if you are unable to access a portal for any reason, you can contact our account manager or contact the data center directly, and we can always open up that ticket for you. Really, we just want y'all to know that right now, your health, your staff's health, our staff's health, and obviously the health of your equipment and your data center itself is our #1 priority. And, really, if there's anything that we can do to help y'all out, we're here for y'all. And yet again, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're shifting people around as needed and making sure that if people need to stay in the data center for extended periods of time, that we're providing them the needs that they have while they're there on site.
Great.
I think with that, we can kind of push over to Yvette now.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brett. All right, I'm going to switch to allow Yvette to begin sharing some slides that she's going to walk us through next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the webinar this afternoon. And I think the overarching message that we want all of you to take away from this is that we are here to help. We know this is a challenging time, that people are having to switch gears very quickly and come up with new solutions for new challenges. And we want to be a part of the solution for that. You are trusting us with your information, your functions, your applications, your websites. We take that trust seriously, and we're honored that you're continuing to trust us with that. So please come to us with any questions that you might have about your environment, your concerns about access remotely, anything that isn't answered today. Follow up with your account manager or call into support directly, and we will do everything we can to help you out. What I want to show you right now is our customer portal. We built this customer portal. Some of you are probably more familiar with this than others. We want to give you visibility into your environment that you have with us. So we're going to talk about how do you access our customer portal. So you can go directly to our website, databank.com, click on support, and log in. If you don't currently have credentials, or you have forgotten your credentials for the customer portal, no problem at all. Just call into support or call your account manager or email and ask for your credentials, and we'll be happy to reset those or create new ones for you. If you want to go directly to the URL, it is support.databank.com. When you log into the portal, up at the top, you're going to see the name of your organization. You're going to see the time frame, which is essentially the view for all the information in the portal. The default is 30 days. You're going to see your own information here. Of course, this is me logged in. And you're going to see if there's any alerts. If we are monitoring aspects of your environment, and we'll talk about the monitors in just a second, you'll see very quickly as soon as you log in whether or not there's a current alert, and you can click on that and get more information. The home page of the portal, this is the essentially executive dashboard. This is where you can see on a high level everything that's going on in your environment. If we're managing systems for you, you'll see specific information like those health checks that we talked about. If you have IDS, intrusion prevention detection services, you'll see the number of attacks that we've blocked, any active alarms, any open tickets that are in your environment, all of that. You can open a new ticket right from the home page, and then you have here on the left-hand side a bunch of menus where you can navigate and drill down into specific information for your environment. Remote hands, I'm sure that for many of you, this is going to be an important feature right now. To request that we go in and be your remote hands on site at any of our data centers, what you'll do is you'll click on support, and underneath the list for support tickets, you're going to click on request remote hands. This will open up a window that looks like this. And then you can fill in these fields and submit it directly to us. Err on the side of too much information in here, really, because the more information you give us, the more specific you can be about what you want us to do and what part of your equipment you want us to be working on be really helpful. And it's also important to tell us what time and what date you actually want us to make these changes for you. If it's right away or ASAP, you can say that too. But if there's a specific window that you need it done, make sure you put that in here. And also put your contact information in here, a number where we can reach you right away, because chances are good we'll get this and we'll call you first and say, okay, we're going to go over here, and are you ready for us to do it? And then when we've done it, we'll check with you, okay, we've done it. Is it what you wanted us to do? Is there anything else you want us to do? For support tickets in general, same thing. You would click on support and then add a new ticket at this time, and you can do data center access where you say, okay, I want to access my rack, or I want so-and-so to access. You can reserve a conference room. Right now is probably not a good idea to be reserving a conference room with us. Okay, And then here's the window for opening up support tickets. Some of you may not be aware, in our customer portal, you can add people who will be copied on all the back and forth and emails through support tickets. And you don't necessarily have to add someone who is already an authorized contact on your account. If you have an outside vendor or a consultant or a specific user that you want to have copied on the support tickets and you want them to be able to communicate with us, you can actually add that person on there. That's an external contact. So you would just click on external contact, put their name and their email address in, and they will be copied on just that specific support ticket. They are not authorized going forward for anything else but information on this ticket. This is more information about what to fill out on support tickets. The portal walks you through. It's fairly self-explanatory, but just remember, it's really important to share as much information as you can so that we can help you. One area I do want to highlight here, sensitive information. If you want to send us a specific IP address or credentials or something that really isn't for public consumption, click on that sensitive information and then put a separate field will open up for you in the portal, and you can put that information there. And then the only person who can see that is our support team and you. You can designate users in the portal. If you have additional staff that need to get into the customer portal for whatever the reason is, or you want to change the access of someone who's already in the portal, you can remove users, add users. You can customize what level of access they have in the portal. This is really designed for you to have full control over who gets to see your information. When you walk through it, you'll see that it'll ask you for if you want two-factor authentication added to a particular user. Multi-factor authentication is a requirement for compliance. So if your environment is a compliant environment, you should check this. Please note it's a $5 charge per user for multi-factor authentication for them. And here's where you can customize what they can see. If you have a particular user that you say, okay, I will only want them to be able to see a specific, sorry about that. If you only want them to see a specific part of the portal, I mean, you can really get very particular about what they can see. And if you want them to only see a particular server, a particular device, if you have managed services with us, you can actually say, okay, you can only see my managed internet. You can only see my firewall. Okay? If you have managed systems with us, you'll see on that home page, the executive dashboard, the health checks. We will monitor pretty much anything you want us to monitor as long as we can ping it, right? So we have to be able to, if we're pinging uptime on a particular device or a particular function, we just have to be able to ping it in order to monitor that. We'll alert on it, and by alert, we can either inform you of the alert and let you take action, or we'll talk to you about what action you want us to take, and we'll put that in the system. We're really your tier 1 tech support for managed systems. If you want to see a specific device and just check the health of it, is it up? Is it performing the way it ought to be? You can go into the portal and see all of your systems are going to be in there. Your servers, your firewall, load balancers, storage, all of that appears under managed systems in the portal. You'll see all the systems will be listed here. These are hyperlinks that you can click on to actually see a given server or firewall or load balancer. When you open up a particular server, this is what you'll see in the portal. You'll actually see the name of the server. You'll see how is it using the resources on that server, all the IP addresses that are assigned to that server. You'll see the storage and the utilization on it. Other system details. Below here, you'll see in the portal, you'll be able to scroll down and see all the software that's loaded on a given server, any server events that are on there. You can drill down pretty well into any given server. And if you want to go even further with it, you can actually go right into the same system that our support team uses to look at your servers. You can click on this little rainbow bar graph that's above each server. This is performance in the portal. It'll open up a second window for you, and you can drill down all the way into the server. You can see exactly what services are running, what software is loaded on there, the event history on that server going way back in time. You can see how it's using all the compute. You can change the dates that it's going back. It goes back 30 days. So you can go back as far as 30 days ago in order to see how it's been using resources. It's really helpful for drilling down. Now, something that many of you have been asking us this week, and it's not surprising at all, is you've been asking us for VPNs. So one of the things that I wanted to show you is that you can actually create your own VPNs in the portal if we are managing your firewall. If we are not managing your firewall, unfortunately, we can't do that for you, but hopefully you can, because if you're managing it, you should be able to access it, right? But if we're managing it for you, you can go into the portal and you can add a VPN user. They would download the Cisco AnyConnect client, and you can create the VPN credentials for them right here. Or you can create your own point-to-point VPN. Now, under that, that would be Managed Systems, Firewall. You would click on your firewall in the portal, and you would see the options for creating VPNs. Okay. Load balancer. If you have load balancing services with us, you can pull your servers in and out of the load balancer in the portal. You can disable or enable a given node in the load balancer. So if you need to run maintenance on a particular server, pull that one out, let the other one carry the load, do the maintenance, put it back in, pull the other one out, do the same maintenance. You can go back and forth and run that so that your traffic continues to run and you continue to have uptime for your end users while you're performing maintenance on your systems. Whatever that happens to be, updating code, loading new documents, new images, whatever that is. If you want to contact us, our contact information is at the bottom of the customer portal. Your dedicated account team will be listed here. Whoever your assigned billing rep will be here. Your salesperson, account manager, account executive will be listed here. And if you have a technical account manager, their contact information will be here too. This team is available to you Monday through Friday during normal business hours. Our support team will continue to be available to you 24/7, 365. And you can reach them at any time, the support team, just by calling our toll-free number. Our toll-free number, in case you don't have it, for support is 855-328-2247.
All right, great. Thanks, Yvette. So as we indicated, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. If you have a question, please put it into the chat window. That's how we're going to roll through these. We're not using the hand raising Q&A function. We're just going to use chat. First one I got in here is, are you going to be adding additional measures for health, such as hand sanitizer, and ensuring people who are sick are not allowed into the data center? We know we're required to touch multiple readers to get into our cage, et cetera. I think that, Brett, maybe that you could best address that one.
Certainly.
What things we're taking, what restrictions we have in the data center itself.
Yeah. So what we've done is we were doing hourly cleanings of door handles and bioreaders. And out in like the lobbies and the break rooms, we have hand sanitizer just for general use. What we've been able to see is that as this has moved on, we're getting less and less traffic actually into the data centers themselves. So I've instructed my teams here locally and nationally that to really pay attention to how many people are coming in. You know, if we've gone 12 hours and nobody's come in, you know, we don't want to be using up all of our resources cleaning every hour. So they're going to start scaling that back as they notice that we're getting less and less people in the data center. If we get an influx of people coming in, taking care of their own gear, obviously we'll move back to that every 60 minutes cleaning. And then with that, in regards to people coming in that are sick, obviously we're not health professionals, but we are going to do our best to kind of screen people as they come through the door. Just kind of paying attention to how everybody's acting. You know, a lot of the technicians, the vendors, the carriers, we interact with these people every day. We know their demeanor, we know how they act, how they look, how they sound. So if we're seeing things that, you know, are symptoms of a fever or dry coughs, pains, those sorts of stuff, you know, we're going to start questioning them. And we've talked about moving to an actual screening before they get through the door. Some of our sites that are managed by other landlords have actually started to do this. Usually they're asking for particular symptoms: fever, cough, body ache, sore throat, and then asking them if they've traveled outside the United States in the past 14 days, or if they've been in contact with anybody with the coronavirus in the last 14 days. If anybody, you know, answers yes to those questions, or has, you know, obvious issues of ailment, we're going to politely ask them just to escort themselves out of the data center, and you know, yet again, help them out. You know, say, hey, what are you here to do? How can we take care of that for you, so that you're not in the data center possibly infecting those of us around.
And just to kind of go along with that, are there any other mandatory restrictions on customers' ability to visit sites right now at any of the data centers?
Nothing that's being enforced by Databank at this moment. Yet again, some of our sites, we do have a landlord. You know, we're not in full control of the outer doors at all of our sites. So some of our sites are actually stopping people at the door and questioning them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of what they're questioning is kind of, you know, what I had mentioned earlier. So they're almost acting as our first line of defense, and then we're acting as a secondary line to defense. And I think most people at this point are kind of self-evaluating and doing a pretty good job. I've even had a couple of technicians that have called and said, you know, I've got a scratchy throat, and I'm just gonna just wait this out for 12 hours and see if it's just allergies. You know, I'm down here in Texas, and it's pollen season for us. So some of the guys are saying, you know, hey, give me an extra 12 hours, 24 hours. Let me just make sure this is allergies before I come into the office. So a lot of people are doing a really good job of just being self-aware and taking care of themselves before they come in and hurt anybody else.
Sure. Another question we have here is, are there any changes with our overall processes in relation to the COVID issue? We're obviously, like a lot of companies, instituted no travel. We have people working from home, but we have critical staff that are in these facilities. But is there anything else from a procedure process standpoint that we want to share that we're changing from how we're operating?
No, I mean, for us, it's pretty much status quo. You know, with it being a 24-hour operation, our hours of business haven't changed. We're still manning the buildings and staffing up. We're doing our normal facility walkthroughs and just, you know, making sure we stay on top of our tickets as they come in. Yeah, so I mean, there's not much of a change. It's just being a little more vigilant and a little more self-aware is really what we're after right now.
Cool. We got a question here about VPN. Can you set up your own VPN user with a Duo authentication through the portal? Do you happen to know the answer to that, Yvette?
So the answer to that is not yet. If you do need to have Duo associated with a particular VPN user, our support team should really be the ones that you call about that.
Okay. Another question here, are Databank resources actually monitoring system vitals like memory and disk space utilization, albeit remotely, or is that the customer's responsibility?
If they have managed services, absolutely. That's actually our default. If the server in question that you're asking about is a managed server with Databank, then by default, we actually are monitoring. We monitor compute, we monitor disk, we monitor the cloud usage, all of that.
Okay, great. That looks like all the questions we've gotten via chat. Is anybody, oh wait, a couple more. Can you please clarify, are any changes expected for accepting deliveries?
No, deliveries will continue to be delivered. One thing that we were actually discussing today is how long the virus actually lives on cardboard. interesting fact there. So you're looking at like a 24-hour period that the virus is living on cardboard. So what we're looking at is bringing deliveries in and doing a disinfecting on them, and then putting them into our storage space. So deliveries are still going to be accepted, and we're going to go through a standard process of logging them into the system, putting them into secured storage, sending you all a notification letting you know that delivery's been received. This is what it is. This is where it is, and you can either open up a ticket, and we'd be glad to scan in packing slips, unpackage everything, move it into your space. Be a great opportunity for us to help you out with rack and stacks and cabling them all up, getting them turned on. But if not, if you feel it imperative to come into the data center and actually put your hands on that equipment, we're still here to help you out with that as well.
Okay, a bunch of questions here. We will save this recording and make it available for everybody. So yes, we'll get this out as soon as we've finished the call and can download that. We'll get it packaged up and emailed to everybody who registered for our customers. I think that is pretty much all the questions that have come in here via chat. So again, just want to thank everybody for jumping on, and hope everybody stays safe and healthy. And thank you very much, Yvette and Brett and everybody else on the team here for helping to put this together. We hope it was helpful. We are here for you guys. Call us. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us, and we are working all the communication channels that we have to keep you up to date on what's happening here in real time as best we can through. So make sure you look for those emails from us, notifications in the portal, etc., and even on our social posts as well, and in the blog. We're kind of hitting all the bases. So any other further questions, feel free to reach out to support or your account teams. Really appreciate it. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there. All right. Take care.